Hey Wellness Crew, and welcome to 10-Minute Yoga. Let's get started. We're going to go ahead and start in Child's Pose. Having our arms extended, having our bottoms on or near our heels, and our knees spread to your comfort. Coming up into tabletop with our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. We're going to go ahead and lift our head up, lift our bottoms up for cat. As we inhale, as we exhale, we're going to go into cow. So we're going to go ahead and have the crown of our head towards our mat and our back arched. Coming into a kneeling position, we're going to go ahead and have our arms like they're in mountain pose. We're going to come forward into airplane, and we're going to come back up. So our bottom is scooting back as we come down, and we're squeezing our glutes as we come up. From here, we're going to go ahead and bring our hands back down to the mat. We're going to come into downward dog, relaxing the neck, taking a nice few deep breaths right in this position. Bringing our knees back down to the mat, we're going to go ahead and bring our right foot forward for a low lunge, crescent lunge. So trying to extend our arms as straight as we can. Sorry about that. Bringing our hands back down to the mat, bringing that right leg back on our knee, bringing the left foot forward for another low lunge, crescent lunge, trying to extend our arms as straight as possible, straight up. Bringing our hands back down to the mat, we're going to go ahead and tuck our toes underneath so we can get back into downward dog. Relaxing the neck. Coming into plank. Coming into hovering. So only the palms of our hands, our toes, and the balls of our feet are in contact with the mat, nothing else. And coming up into upward dog. Tucking our toes underneath to go back into downward dog. Plank. Hovering. Upward dog. And back into downward dog. Relaxing the neck. Coming back into plank. Hovering. Upward dog. Tucking our toes underneath for downward dog. plank, hovering, upward dog, and coming back, opening up our knees into child's pose. We're going to come onto our forearms, extend our legs back so we're on our toes for a forearm plank. Squeezing your glutes. And coming back into child's pose. Coming back into a forearm plank, getting onto our toes. Coming back into dolphin, which is very similar to downward dog, but we are on our forearms. Coming back into plank. Dolphin. Back into plank. Dolphin. Last time, plank. And dolphin. We're going to go ahead and bring our knees to the mat. Coming into a kneeling position. We're going to go ahead and bring our fists to our lower back for a nice back bend. We're going to lower our arms, straighten our right arm, bring our left arm overhead. We're going to do a slight side bend to the left. To the right, but you'll feel the stretch on your left hand side. And then changing arms, bringing the right arm overhead. The left arm is nice and straight against your body. All right, back to center. Back to having our fists on the small of our back for a nice little back bend. Coming on to our toes. So we can reach back for our ankles. Once you find them, try to bring your hips back over your knees as close as you can. Letting your head fall back for camel. Slowly coming out of that position, we're going to go ahead and come into a seated position. We're going to straighten out our legs for one of our staples. Our arms lifting up overhead and coming into a straight-legged forward fold. Going ahead and bringing the bottoms of our feet together And bringing our heels as close to our pelvic area as we can, and going ahead and folding forward. Relaxing the head. Aiming to get your chin past your feet, past your toes, I should say, if possible. Slowly rolling up, we're going to go ahead and extend that right leg forward, leaving the left knee bent with the bottom of our foot on our mat. Bringing our hand, our elbow, I should say, to the outside of our left thigh, with our left hand on the mat behind us, and taking a few deep breaths in this position. And going ahead and coming back to the middle, extending that left leg, bending the right, bringing that left elbow to the outside of your right thigh, with your right hand behind you for a nice spinal twist. And returning to center, going ahead, putting our right knee over our left, prayer position with our hands, and twisting to the right. Our left elbow is on the outside of our right thigh. And you'll feel this in your back. You'll also feel this in your lower body. Coming back to center, bringing our hands down so we can switch our legs to have the left knee on top of the right, having our hands in prayer position, and turning to the left hand side with our right elbow on the outside of our left thigh. And if you can, aiming to have your hands be in the center of your chest. And coming back to center. Then we're going to do our final pose. We're going to go ahead and come into full saddle, since we don't do Shavasana in 10-minute yoga. So coming on to our forearms, our knees are bent, our bottoms are in between our feet. If that's comfortable, you can stay there, but if you need more of a stretch, you can come all the way back onto your mat. And coming up onto our elbows and forearms and hands, coming into a seated position or kneeling position, whatever that looks like for you. And that's all I had for today for 10-minute yoga. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and or follow. And thank you so much for joining me on this quick practice. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next video. Be well, stay wild.